Okay, so our participants has joined us. Now, I good afternoon, dear authors and invited guests. Welcome to the technical session 4C. Myself, Harsh Soni, moderator of this session. On behalf of Global Knowledge Research Foundation, it's my great pleasure to welcome you all to the seventh international conference on information and communication technology for competitive strategies (ICTCS 2022) through Zoom. I hope you all enjoy the knowledgeable and interactive session today. And in this session, we have eight presentation, and each presentation will be given 8 minutes for the presentation and 2 minutes for the question and answers. And in 7 minutes, I will raise a gentle reminder to conclude your presentation. And there's one more request for the presentation that for the presenters that you may all please stay connected with us till the closing remarks. And if you have any query or any suggestion, you can write it to me in the chat box. Just before we get started, I would like to introduce you all to the chair for the session, Professor Anubha Jain. Professor Anubha Jain is working as an associate professor and head of department in computer science, IT, IIS located in Jaipur, India, an academician for the last 22 years. She has actively contributed in teaching industry and R&D. Knowing that teaching is the best form of giving knowledge back to society, she has been involved in teaching and mentoring several students in the field of computer science. She was awarded her PhD in the field of information retrieval and information architecture. Her research interests include soft computing, computational studies, IoT, and software engineering. She is the author of the 9 books and has published a number of papers at national as well as international level. She is a reviewer for many journals and leading book houses and has been an invited speaker, session chair at many conferences and seminars. She is associated with different academic bodies in diverse capacities, including being the convener of the board of studies, member of academic council, and curriculum committees. And now I'd like to introduce you our next session chair. Just a second. Professor Devesh Kumar Srivastav. Professor Devesh Kumar Srivastav is a professor of software engineering and data analytics. He has been working in the Department of Information Technology at Manipal University, Jaipur. He has 20 years rich experience of academics, including 10 years of research and administration. And his research areas are software engineering, data mining, and cloud computing. He is a professional member of IEEE, ACM, and ING software engineering. He has reviewed many research papers of peer-reviewed journals and conferences indexed by Scopus and SCI. He has published more than 100 research papers in peer-reviewed journals and in the on conferences of Springer, ACM, and IEEE. He has honored with awards in the category of excellence in ICT research for the year 2017 and in the Springer International Conference and Information and Communication Technology for Intelligent Systems, Best Paper Award in the Springer International Conference in Emerging Technologies in Data Mining and Information Security. Best Researcher Award for the year 2018 in the International Conference in ICT for Sustainable Development at Goa and Excellence Education Award for the year 2019, organized by, just a second, organized by I think so that's not out here. Yeah, organized by Simply Jaipur at Birla Institute of Technology. Okay, thank you, ma'am, and thank you, sir, for presence over here. Now, I'd like to start with the papers. Our first presenter is, just a second. I'm Bala Subba Reddy, and he's presenting on a power quality conditioner with fuzzy logic controller. Dear presenter, you may please start your presentation.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Hello, Harsh. Himanshu here.
Yeah, my screen is visible, sir.
Yes, it is visible. Go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah, my title is Power Quality Conditioner with Fuzzy Logic Controller. This work is related to AICT sponsored research promotion scheme RPS funding project. This is simulation work and followed by hardware also we are implementing. This is the part of RPS project. And we are the three authors, myself and Venkata Prasad and Kaustuba. And the presentation agenda: introduction, basic block diagram of UPQC, mathematical modeling, results and analysis, conclusions and references. We know that the UPQC, Unified Power Quality Conditioner, is a multi-function power conditioner used to compensate the various voltage disturbances in a power system and voltage fluctuation, sag, swell, all these things, hormones mitigation, all these things we can able to mitigate using this. This is a custom power design, mitigate the distribution that affect the performance of the sensitive and critical loads. And UPQC consisting of two things. One is a shunt, another one is a series compensation capable for harmonic, active and voltage disturbances and power flow control. And it is also two voltage source converters common with DC link. In between one series converter, another one is a shunt converter will be there. In between there is a DC link will be there. One converter is a series through transformer between the source and the load at the point of common coupling, that is a PCC, that we call it as a voltage source inverter. Another one we call it as a shunt at PCC, the transformer operation as a current source inverter, that we call it. This is the main block diagram of that. There is a source and load in between we are using as a UPQC. This combination series inverter and shunt inverter, that combination we call it as a UPQC. Make use of that UPQC, we can able to control the sag voltage, swell voltage and fluctuations in the harmonics in the load side, and all these things we can able to mitigate by using the UPQC with proper control techniques. And here the series part of UPQC known as a DVR, dynamic voltage restorer. So, and shunt path is known as a distributed STATCOM, that is a static compensators. This STATCOM effective device to mitigate the current harmonics, reactive power compensation and balancing the load conditions. And DVR is mitigating of the voltage harmonic, like voltage harmonic. In addition to that, sometimes voltage may be sag, sometimes voltage may be swell. So all these things has to be balanced and it has to give the customer end the constant voltage we have to provide by make use of this. So both DSTATCOM and DVR combination we call it as a UPQC. And the UPQC is connected near common coupling point in the nonlinear load. Preferably all the loads are nonlinear loads, whatever you are using. So to mitigate the harmonics and sag, swell, all these things, we can make use of the UPQC. And the mathematical, so normally when you are operating the UPQC, there is a control technique is the major role in that. The performance of the UPQC depends upon that. In this there is we need to sense the actual voltage and current. Based on that, we have to generate as a reference voltages in the pulse generation purpose. We are using that, and the compensation voltage also the UPQC is going to be generated according to the reference values. And that using that reference values, we are going to generate the firing pulses of the controllers. There is a two things I shown you. The one is a shunt converter, another one is a series. So for that we required as a walls are there, that is a thyristors or IGBTs. By make use of conduction, we required as a firing pulses. So here time domain approach reference generating signal I am using. This approach instantaneous calculation of the reference current and voltage signals, and sending the distorted current and the voltage signal, we can able to operate this for the control purpose. The instantaneous in nature, the time domain approach is faster than the frequency domain approach. There is a two domains will be there, frequency domain also, but this will be faster as per the literature. So I selected as a time domain approach for generation of the reference signal generation purpose. In this, there is a unit vector template, reference generator signal, and instantaneous power, that we call it as a PQ theory also we use it. So this algorithm inside, I given the equations in the paper. Based on that equation, there is a model we have to implement it here, the references, and then phase lock loop we used, and then the peak fundamental input voltages, and then we can get as a phase shift of three-phase supply. This one, that's the reason initially 0 degrees, then -120 and +120. So this shifting is required for three-phase reference voltages. And there is another approach, the PQ theory will be there. There is between the two controllers, in between there is a one DC link will be there. We are measuring that DC link also. In that case, the DC link voltage and then reference voltages and load current. So these are the parameters we have to consider from the actual system, and from that we are using as a PQ theory and our control strategy. And finally, we will generate as a compensating currents. So this compensating currents, we can able to use it in our control strategy, so that the firing pulse will be generated appropriately, and the mitigation is going to be takes place. In the results part, we can observe. So normally load current, you can see there is a lot of distortion in the load current. When you say as a AC supply, that will be as a pure sinusoidal. I created I turn on the active device that at 0.4 seconds, then you can see that source current made in the sinusoidal in nature. Similarly, you can see other parameters, source voltages and load voltages, the lot of disturbances will be there. So to overcome that one, load voltage, I make it as a sinusoidal by switching on the series filter operation. That's what I taken here as a 0.4 to 0.5 seconds. We can get it this up before that, and after this there is a lot of disturbance will be there. But once if I operate that as a series active filter, we'll get it as a the load voltage in the sinusoidal in nature. And other one we can see here injecting current. So there is a sag and swell. One compensation is required by make use of this. The sag means the voltage is a dip. You can see here in this portion, voltage will be less when compared to other time periods. So once the voltage is dip here, I make use of our compensator. So what we can do is I have to make it that voltage into the normal level. So now we can see here the load voltage, even though the supply voltage is dip in this region 0.9 to 1 second, but our load voltage will be maintained in the constant. For that, the who will supply that remaining, that will be supplied by this compensator. So this is the voltage sag is created at 0.9 to 0.1, and then we are able to compensate that by make use of the compensator here. So this is the compensation voltage, that is injected voltage in the sag compensator, that will boost up this voltage to the normal level. This is the compensation is occurred using the sag. And other one we can see here, sometimes the voltage may be swell. You can see
Sorry to
here,
interrupt you, but we have last 1 minute.
yeah. So this is higher voltage, then we are using this compensation, we can again we are getting to the normal voltage level. So that also is happened here. And in this case, I did swell and as well as the sag, both here you can see that sag and this will be swell. Both is possible by make use of UPQC. Individually we did for sag as well swell, and both we can possible by make use of that. And once if you are analyzing this UPQC, without UPQC and with UPQC, harmonics is going to be reduced. Initially 22.28%, but it is reduced to only 2.24%. That's why our UPQC is working properly and it is mitigating the harmonics as well. And this is the final conclusion. So from that, I used a PI controller as well as the fuzzy logic controller to mitigate the harmonic as well as the sag and swell. And you can see that the percentage levels is reduced 2.51. And fuzzy controller we used here to control strategy. So and further in future work we can use optimization algorithm like cuckoo search algorithm or ant colony algorithm or ABC algorithm, anything we can extend for this work. Instead of using fuzzy logic controller, we can go for an optimization algorithm to mitigate the same thing. These are the references. So I used in this, some more references I placed here, still some of the references I placed in the our paper. Thank you, sir.
It's a great work, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
I have no questions as such. I think Devesh sir can ask.
Basically, your work is very good, and
Yes.
but the difference as you shown is very little.
Yeah. Still it is going on, sir. Work is going on still.
Sorry.
Yeah, work is still going on, sir. We use it for this algorithm.
Okay.
Level, but another approach also there.
Okay. So did you compare your work with any another work who has done the work in the same domain or area?
Yes, sir. Actually, in this is not compared, but there is a other literature. We have a lot of harmonic content here. 2% I shown you, but some other work they shown 4% something, sir, harmonic. But it is comparatively our case is better. Harmonic reduction as per IEEE standard, only 5% allowable. So we are below that.
Okay, thank you very much. But I hope that you will must compare to prove your authenticity of your work, because without comparison, nobody can claim that. So it is my suggestion in future you will do the work, right?
Yeah, I will do it, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, so invite
Hello,
now.
sir.
Now I have to invite. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Sir,
Yes,
will
yes,
it be Dr. Aarti's presentation now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Just
Thank
give
you,
me.
ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Our next presenter is Aarti Chandani, and she is presenting a qualitative study to improve quality of online education, futuristic approach.
I'm just sharing my screen.
Okay.
Good afternoon to all the session chairs. Good afternoon to all my colleagues and friends. Thank you very much for this opportunity. So I'm going to start my presentation. Myself and Dr. Smita, we have worked on this paper, and we thought to understand from the students' perspective what are the ways to improve the quality of education. And this is a qualitative study which focuses on improving the quality of online education. As we know, now this is the plan of my presentation. As we know, we were stuck with the COVID and pandemic, and all the colleges had to go for online with no choice actually, whether they had any infrastructure or no. They had to develop whatever was the situation, but there was no choice given. And there was many challenges in terms of not all the colleges had those digital infrastructure to be able to take classes online, nor the students had those infrastructure in terms of taking the sessions online. So these were some of the challenges which were there. But I think over the time, everybody as the teachers, we as the teacher as well as student, everybody adopted to it. And then we gradually moved to the online education, where it was that we were able to take the education and we were delivered. But in some way, it affected the quality. Now, how do we ensure that the quality is maintained? That is what is the focus here. So first, I'll talk about literature review here. From the students' perspective, it was very much intrusion to the privacy. Now, privacy in the sense, as a teacher, we expected them to switch on their camera, while a student wanted that it will be intrusion to privacy in terms of they were not very comfortable by showing their keeping their camera on, which will show that the house or the surrounding or the environment in which they are residing, or there could be some other disturbances. And it was from the teacher's perspective, it was very difficult because it was like you are talking to a black box with no interaction at all. So that was one of the literature which cited that McKenzie et al. In 2020. Then there was a lack of attention among the student, which was reported by Lely et al. In 2021, that the students could not focus. There was a lot of diversion or so much of distraction which was happening, which impacted the quality of the online education. Then another study which was earlier also, because online education existed earlier, not in the form in which we have witnessed, but yes, online education existed from early 2000 also. So there was a study done by Palmer and Holt, and they said that student learning and satisfaction are very important. Where we saw learning was happening, but whether it was actual learning and whether the students were satisfied or not, that is a question which we try to seek here. And there was a model which was given by Moore, is that slogan consortium model, which focuses on the 5 parameters, which are learning effectiveness, cost effectiveness, institutional commitment, access, and faculty and student satisfaction. So this is some of the literature which was available in terms of online education, specifically to the COVID environment. So the research, what we found that the existing research or the existing literature is available about student perception and behavioral intention. More research is done from the teacher's perspective, that is how they should improve or how they should focus on the quality. And as I mentioned that online education did exist earlier. So there is a research which is available on online education as well as distance education. Now, another area where some amount of literature is available is impact of online education on the student learning. But most of these studies are first quantitative, which has its own limitation. Now, if we have to understand the quality, it is very difficult to quantify the quality. So those studies were quantitative in nature, and we tried to understand more subjectively as to what the student think in terms of how the quality can be improved. So this is what we did. We have taken a semi-structured interview. So I'll be talking more about the research methodology. So we actually took the questions, research questions, which were from the existing literature. And those questions were related to IT infrastructure, design and delivery of the course, interaction, student assessment, what are the support students are getting, and then the overall quality and satisfaction. Now, for this, the population would be all the students who are presently studying online during COVID era, sorry. And the sample student, we thought to specifically, focus this study on the postgraduate colleges. So therefore, that becomes our sample, and we have used purposive sampling, which is, going to only PG colleges. And semi-structured interviews were conducted. Mode of conducting this interview was a telephonic interview, and from different postgraduate colleges in India. And the time period, we started this from 27 January in terms of collecting the data. So we started making calls and recording interviews, and this went on till 9 January. And we have actually used Excel as well as NVivo in terms of analyzing the data. And whenever we took the interview, we definitely had explicit permission of the respondent. We told them that this is the purpose, and they said, yes, we are okay. And we recorded that interview so that we can actually transcribe it later on. And all the students, they were ready to give their names. So we have actually used the names are real names. Now, this is a table which shows that these are the students and when we have actually conducted the interview. So this shows that there was 16 students whom we can actually reach out, and we felt that after 16, actually we were not getting any new input, in the sense that from 10th or 11th interview, this same thing started getting repeated. So we went on further, and by 16, we felt that saturation point has come, which is where we actually stop the interviews. Now, if we talk about in terms of the duration, this is where we have actually taken Excel, and duration of each interview is given. Now, one student actually took a lot of time, and the student had a lot to share in terms of how the quality can be improved, what are the different challenges they faced, how those challenges can be overcome by having the proper system and processes at the institute level, which can lead to the student satisfaction. Now we have used NVivo software, so all these transcribed files, which we actually did after taking the interviews, were fed into NVivo, and these were the these were the six other major themes. On this, we actually developed this project map. Now, if I'm going to talk about all those 6 input, so first thing.
Sorry to interrupt you, but we have last 1 minute.
Okay, so now this is the transcribed, I mean, verbatim from the literature, verbatim from the interview. So now, one point was that industry review should be taken. That is very important. And we have the student also said there should be some motivation. The student switch off their camera, and there should be some motivation for the student to switch on their camera. And assessment, different teachers had different assessment plan, which actually made them confused. So they said that we should have a standard assessment, at least for major subject. And participation should be actually encouraged. That is what, again, important. Now, this is another word cloud, which actually we got it on overall quality, what should be done. And these are the terms which were appearing. Now, in terms of improving the quality, they said that pedagogy should be there, software manuals like SPSS, they were not able to download, so they should be proper trained. And training of teachers was also very important. And there were multiple dashboard in terms of the student had to use a material. So they said there should be a single dashboard, and pre-reading should be given to the student in terms of preparing for the class. So some of the things which I have already spoken about this. And I'll come to the conclusion. The role of faculty and instructors is very important, as we have already seen. I mean, we faculty have witnessed. And these are the challenges which actually help the institute to improve. And we need to focus more on the student satisfaction and their quality of learning. And I think that's all from my side. The limitation is that we included only the PG student, and 16 students were there. And we spoke only about the teaching, not related to feedback, internship, placement, or anything else. This can be taken up to other programs also, or we can have different level of students in terms of as a sample, and other software can also be, that is the scope for the future work. These are some of the references which we have used. Another limitation is the limitation of time which we have. I think that's all from my side. I'm open to questions.
Thank you very much. You had a good exercise how to improve the education system during the COVID and after the COVID. But there is one question. You have seen that there are so many NAC or NBA are just aggregated the courses. How they are getting the benefited in the university or online education?
Sorry, I did not understand your question, sir.
Basically, yes, madam, you have seen that there are so many accreditation body like NAC or NBA. Just they want to improve the quality of the education. How they are benefit? How they get benefit to the university or online education system? What you want to say?
Okay, now see, I mean, if you ask me personally, I will say there should be a single body of accreditation, because we have different bodies, and it makes the job and everywhere difficult. We are focusing more on getting the good rankings rather than focusing more on the quality part of the education. So I think ranking is something which is difficult to talk about. But accreditation, yes, there should be a single accreditation body, maybe either an IIF or a NAC or whatever NBA. That's what my take on it.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
I too have a question.
Yes, ma'am. Please.
Aarti ma'am, it was a good presentation.
Thank you.
My question is, did you share these conclusion with your organization or your fellow colleagues?
No, I have not. Right now, we were waiting for the paper to be published. Only then we will share. Yes, we have shared this with the respondent, the aggregate result. For example, I'm having 16 respondents. So all the results are shared with all those so that they know what everybody had to say.
Okay, no, I think because this is an application based research, you should share with the organization and your fellow members also.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. We will do that.
Ma'am, I think the number of the sample size is very small. Even if you're getting the same type of answers, I think you should have increased it more.
Yeah, I agree with you. But if I go with the literature in qualitative studies, the sample is much lesser in comparison to quantitative. But yes, I know that is one of the limitation which I have mentioned. And definitely we will try to include, we try to include more broader perspective as well, and increase the number of respondents.
Thank you. This is suggestions are actually good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you very much for the
Thank you,
suggestion.
ma'am. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am, for your great presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Smita.
Thank you,
And
everyone.
now I would like to invite our next presenter, Prashika, and she's presenting on automation testing using different tools.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay, okay. Okay. Hope my screen is visible to you all.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Okay. So I am presenting for automation testing using different tools. This will be my agenda for the presentation. So talking about the introduction and abstract part, nowadays automotive industry is experiencing that customer wants a lot of comforting functionalities. So to accomplish that, industry including many power modules to operate on those functionalities. And as a result of this, the electronics structure is becoming more and more complex with increasing number of input and output structures, and it is difficult to maintain the integration testing on the respective product manually. So moreover, the device which is under test should follow the standard procedure while doing the software testing. So here we developed the test automation tool that will perform the desired testing effectively with reduced test automation execution time. And company nowadays want accuracy with accessible precision, and it should be a more than 90% reuse in different projects in the industry. However, multiple test case execution at the same time is possible in this tool. And additionally, if any malfunction occurred in automotive industry, that will be detected by using the diagnostic trouble codes that also included in the tool that we have used. So we all know that both manual and automation testing is used in the industry. This is the overview for that. And this will be the objective for the paper, that to test the software which is responsible for overall 100 plus functionalities, and to develop that test cases generically so that we can use it over different projects. So the methodology here used is the proposed system has a new agenda, that is to use the existing canoe measurement setup that is currently used in the industry with FDX, that is a fast data exchange protocol configuration. To automate the test case, first we must understand the requirements of the equipment manufacturers from the industry, and accordingly that they require the test cases, and accordingly the test cases are written. This will include the automation tools like Vector, Canoe, CanCase, and the VT system. The testing parameters of test case includes definitions that is written in the curly bracket form, and that are going to we are going to written in the Excel sheet, and we can reuse them with the help of all these tools. So this is generally the procedure we followed for doing the automation for the test cases that going to repeat for all the projects. So we can reduce time here. So while executing a test case, we return it in the form of definitions and the mapping signals. So definitions are written in the curly bracket form, and the mapping signals are written in the form that we should address them for the signals that we are providing. And while executing a test case, the export of the test case converts that file into the comma separated variables, and the existing canary simulation will fail there. So we have to include the bus communication and the VT system at the background phase. So this will be the procedure, and for that this will be the system architecture. It includes the user layer that will interact with the user, and the project files are going to be under automation will be configured here, and files or script is written in the CAPL files or that are created with the help of LabVIEW. Next will be the test and layer, and is in that layer it is associated with the test sequences and definitions, and then definitions of different functions are loaded in this layer by the tester at the very first time only, and these definitions are then called in the test sequences, which are also going to which are also defined in the same layer only. Okay. So the next part is the LabVIEW part. In the LabVIEW part is going to be the backend communication with the Canoi, and Canoi communication drivers, test and communication drivers, and data loggers that are included in this layer. Then next will be the XCP and CAPL with the Canoi form. So Canoi is used for the simulation of the overall environment, and along with that XCP is also used for accessing the internal parameters for the automation. We can use the CAPL codes also for some operations which cannot be performed by this script. So with the help of LabVIEW, we can create that. And this whole system is then connected to the VT system and the VN box and the device under test. So this is the procedure that I have explained. It has a interface of the FDX driver VT system and the LabVIEW. This is the example that I have considered for the result purposes. This is a simple test case that I have mentioned, and it is written with the help of mapped signal, which includes the addresses of that signals and the definitions that we are going to create with the help of functionalities, and these keywords we can use again and again for the other test cases also. So this is the form of test cases written. And when we execute the test cases, the test and execution window will show the expected result, and we can monitor all the steps there, which one is failed, and we can then work on that. So after the execution, the tool will generate a report, and the report of the execution is generated in the XML format, and the format of the XML report can be changed according to the need. So this tool here, I have give the comparison of this automation tool with the other tools that is present in the industry. So the advantage of this tool is that the tests get recorded, and this allows you to reuse and execute the same kind of testing for the repetitive tasks for the
Sorry to interrupt you,
multiple
ma'am, but
times.
we have last 1 minute.
Yeah. And here less error caused by the human interface, and these consistent test runs are reliable, and we get a consistent result over there. So I have concluding this presentation that this tool provides a robust ECU software logic to verify on the vehicle, so that the automotive industry can use this tool for the various test cases to perform the testing. And this will not only work in the automobile sector, it has also some other sectors that we can use this tool over there. And here we are using VT system, so VT system will provide a better interface than the other tools. So these are the references I have used for this. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, you are developing an automation tool, right?
Yeah,
So it is a combination of existing tools.
yes.
So basically,
We are extending the existing tool
okay.
to perform the more robust test cases.
Okay. Actually, what I feel is the name of your title of your paper
Mhm.
and the work that you are showing does not match. The first apprehension
Mhm.
somebody gets is that you are just doing automation testing using various test tools, while
Mhm.
your paper has a contribution like you are developing something. So, don't you feel the name could have been all the more focused?
Okay.
This is a
Here,
suggestion to you.
yeah, yeah. Okay,
Because
okay.
the title is making it more lighter,
Mhm.
and when you have done so much work, the paper title could have been more focused.
Yeah, yeah.
Now
Okay, I'll
you
look.
have, yeah, maybe you can take it as a suggestion.
Yeah, yeah.
Now,
Thanks.
second thing that I want to ask you, you have done comparison with two tools. You have just written first tool and second tool. Which are those tools?
Because it is that tools are related to the industry, so I can't disclose them. That's why I have written over there like that.
Uh, okay, but if you're talking about some tool,
Mhm.
just writing first tool and second tool won't give you the clarity, I think. This is my viewpoint. What do you say, sir?
Yes, you are saying good and you are saying right. Basically, when you want to do something, then you have to prove your work. There should
Mhm.
be some authenticity. If you can say that we cannot tell because this is the security of the organization,
Mhm.
so how you can compare and prove your work? Every work need the authenticity. Okay, so
Yes.
there should be, you have to take the permission from the industry, and then
Mhm.
you can put the name of the tool, whatever you give the comparison with your proposed tool. Okay,
Mhm.
thank you very much. And I just want to ask, in which platform or in which language you are developing this testing tool?
It is in the CAPL form.
It is in the,
CAPL form.
no, that is the platform like or any languages?
Actually, CAPL is the language that is somewhat similar to the C language.
Okay, okay. So you are
Yes.
developing.
So yeah,
So
in the industry, they are using the CAPL, that is a procedural language.
okay, so how you can make the integration testing using this tool when you have some test cases, then how you can integrate through the integration testing?
We are providing the support of the VT system over there and LabVIEW part also. So in LabVIEW, we are generating the modules, and then
So
at the
if,
backend, it will
so
get.
so if we can change something in the one module, so what effect it will have on the other modules which is related to that particular module?
If we change any module in that, then accordingly we have to write the definitions and also the mapping sequence. So we can change that, but according to the test cases, they are
No,
written.
it will be automatically changed or you have to change it manually.
We have to change it manually.
But you written that we are choosing the automation testing. That is why I'm asking.
Yeah, but you have to change it at the first moment only. Then after that, it will follow that procedure overall.
Okay, thank you very much. But I think you are not sure. You give two different solution. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Now I would like to invite our next presenter, Don Son, and he's presenting on building a recommendation system for travel location based on user check-ins on social network.
Thank you.
Yes.
I have pre-recorded a video to fit the time frame. Give me a second. Okay, you're seeing my screen, right?
Yeah, yes, sir, you can.
Okay, I'll start. Hello, everyone. Today, I would like to present to you about our research, building a recommendation system for travel location based on user check-ins on social network. For the agenda, I would like to start with the introduction. Second is the data preparation. Third is the method. I'll talk about three methods: content-based filtering, user-user collaborative filtering, and item-item collaborative filtering. Fourth is the evaluation. And lastly, I'll talk about the conclusion and contribution. We will start with the introduction. Today, recommendation systems are all over the internet. I included 3 examples for Facebook, YouTube, and Netflix. It is fair to say that recommendation system is the crucial part of the success of the application. The most popular subjects for recommendations are people, videos, products, food, and places. But among all these, places might be the least popular one. It is because it is very hard to precisely track an user travel activities, and it is also very challenging to get his opinion on places they visit. So we propose a solution that will let the users review the place when they check in, and also let them give score to various criteria. We also use the detailed rating to determine which place to recommend to other users. For the preparation, the social networks will introduce a check-in functionality, but it should be broken down into criteria that have enough variety to have the system understand the preference of the user, and also these criteria must be concise enough to encourage the user to review places they visit. Here's the proposed database structure. We would like to break the check-in into 8 criteria, which is price, staff, service, scenery, food, entertainment, safety, and history. Here's an example. This is for a new established social network. So we'll work with a modest set of database. For the method, we like to prepare 3 methods. First is the content-based filtering. Here is an example of a review. We have 8 criteria. Some of the points are missing. So we'll like to normalize the input to eliminate these blank values. Also, we will group the reviews to find mean ratings for each place, then calculate the similarity between places, and also use that similarity matrix to recommend places to users. So first, we would like to eliminate this blank value by using the mean score of a review. Here we have mean of 4.4, so we'll use that to fill in the blank values. After that, group the reviews and then calculate a similarity matrix using cosine similarity. Secondly is user-user collaborative filtering. The goal of this is to find how much an user's preference is similar to another one. Here is the same set of reviews, but we'll analyze another score, which is the overall score. For the approach, we will also first normalize the input to eliminate blank values, but also using the overall score as a weight factor to group the reviews to find the preference of that user in traveling. Then we'll calculate the similarity and use that to predict the score of that user may give to other places that they haven't visited. And also lastly, we'll use that to recommend places to users based on the predicted score. Here is the normalized input, which we have already eliminated the blank values. Then using the overall score as a weight factor and group the reviews based on users to find their preference in traveling. Then using the cosine similarity algorithm to calculate the similarity matrix. For the user collaborative filtering, we have a few problems. First is the number of users in the system is very large, and therefore building a similarity matrix will likely take a lot of time and resource. And also the calculated sparse matrix will have a lot of blank values. So once a user review a new place, then the similarity matrix also needs to be recalculated. This process costs a lot of resource, and users are not guaranteed to be recommended the most recent relevant results. So for item-item collaborative filtering, we'll take this method oriented toward content-based filtering, which is because the result will be a matrix of places the size will be much smaller than the matrix of user. And then it will less costly to rebuild the similarity matrix when there is a change. So for the suggested approach, we'll still first normalize input to eliminate the blank values, then use a weight factor, group the reviews to find a place set of ratings by all users. Here we'll still have some blank values, then we'll normalize again to fill in the missing ratings, then calculate the similarity matrix between places, and lastly use that to recommend places to users based on similarity. So we already have a weighted ratings, then we'll group the reviews to find a place set of rating by all users. Here you can see there are quite a lot of blank values. We'll use the mean rating to normalize the matrix and then calculate the similarity between places. Here you can sort the places based on the score and then use the highest score place to recommend to users. So to differentiate between content-based filtering and item-item collaborative filtering, both produce a similarity matrix between places in a system, but content-based filtering compare places based on internal attributes of a place, while item-item collaborative filtering contribute places based on users' opinions on that place. For evaluation, MapK and MarK are the most common methods of evaluation, but it needs user feedback. While the system is new established, we don't have much user feedback on the recommendation system, so we'll use the coverage and diversity. Result shows that the content-based filtering is the safest and most reliable for the new established social network. And the conclusion, so content-based filtering is the most reliable when we have little data. User-user collaborative filtering is very resource extensive and not fit for new business. Item-item collaborative filtering produce low coverage and low diversity. So the contribution of this study is that it establishes a structure for social network dataset, which further supports travel location recommendation. And it also explores different methods to find the most suitable way for new business. And here the result we have is the content-based filtering will be the most suitable for new business. Thank you everyone for listening. Thank you everyone.
Hello,
Everyone. Today I would like to present.
Yeah. So will the filtering content-based filtering fit in all the domains as the most suitable one?
It is the most suitable one for new social network when we have little data, because it is fastest and provide the most reliable result. And once the data set is large, like on Twitter and like Facebook, where we have a lot of users and a lot of places, then content-based filtering is not the best option anymore.
So which is the social media platform that you have used?
I am developing my company's own social media. It is just have been operating for 1 year, so the data is small.
What is the name?
Astra, if you can search on Google.
So is it a social media being developed for a global purpose, or it's a countrywide platform?
It is developing for Vietnam users.
Okay, thank you from my side. Devesh.
Yes, just I want to know that you have shown the result. So which algorithm you are used in the recommender system to showcase the similar metrics values?
The algorithm has not been used in production yet. This is on my suggestions for the organization, and it is not yet applied in the real product.
So how you can evaluate the similar metrics as you shown in your slide?
How did I apply it?
How you could evaluate the similar metrics as you shown in the slide, different values. How you
I
can
use
evaluate it?
I use the cosine similarity algorithm.
Okay, so that is the algorithm. That is I want to know that. Okay, thank you very
Okay,
much.
okay.
Okay, so moving for our next presenter, Himanshu Verma, and he's presenting on task offloading using queuing theory and fog assisted IOMT. Dear presenter, you may please start your presentation.
Yes, I'm starting with my presentation. Let me share my screen first.
Please.
Just a minute. Isn't my screen visible to everyone?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay, I'm selecting my presentation here. I'm in presentation mode. Is it visible to everyone?
Yes, it is.
Okay, fine. So today I'm here to on this paper that is titled as task offloading using queuing theory in fog-based Internet of Medical Things. So beginning with the presentation, the outline of presentation is the introductory part, and then for the objective of the paper, then the highlights, commenting highlights on the literature survey, which is covered in this paper, then the proposed approach, then the result which we evaluated, and then conclusion. Moving forward to the presentation part, as we know that the Internet of Medical Things has been helping greatly to reduce the pressure on the medical resources nowadays, and that to one hospital. Being a time sensitive system, delivering the quick responses for the medical systems are the utmost priority. So, if we say that the current system comprise wireless sensor networks, generally, if we say, so the current system is mostly equipped with WBSNs and cloud computing architectures. So, the drawback with this cloud computing phase that it provide it actually complies with the low latency, which could be fatal in healthcare scenario, because there are many factors that affect the latency part of the cloud responses. Being on considering the current digital system, either it is cellular data system or either it is Wi-Fi network, considering that one. So let when the fog assist when we introduce fog nodes in the Internet of Medical Devices are applied near the sensing device at the network edge, they could help to solve the problem of this latency and delay, and give a real time responses, uh, especially in the internet, and if we consider long term scenario, then that too in the overall architecture of this IoT. So, however, these fog devices deal with the massive data, but uh, the minimal data processing capability, because those all the devices which are involved in this WBSN scenario are actually very resource restrictive in terms of memory, in terms of computation capability and power also. So, dealing with this humongous data and even including pre-processing part could be shorten the lifespan of the network and could actually shut down the network also. So, there is a need of for time to make efficient algorithm that make sure data processing, the data processing and offloading tasks should be the process which involved in the task offloading should take minimal time. So the objective of the paper is to propose a queuing theory based solution for especially concerning the task offloading method for fog assisted internet of medical things. The architecture I've shown in here is the is as actually a general point of architecture which could be considered for IOMT solutions. So starting with the least devices. So those devices could be medical sensors or either those are wearable or non-wearable, and those could be connected with the personal devices like mobile phone, and this forms a end device layers. So this end device layer will be connected with the fog layer, and these fog layer devices could be your personal systems, your laptop, your gateway or routers, and this forms fog layer. And this fog layer directly connects with the cloud layer, where the actual processing, the major processing of the collected data would be done. So the related work which we have highlighted here, that Wang et al. Proposed a reduced variable neighbor search, that is RVNS based e-sensor data processing framework to enhance the reliability of the data transmission and pre-processing. And the second one is an IoT based system to emergency medical services to demonstrate the flexible collection, integration, and interoperation of the data. The next detailedly discuss the scenario and security of the fog computing paradigm. And Siva et al. Propose a fog assisted analytical system to monitor faults and stroke mitigations. And the last one present a service architecture for the smartphone based emergency alert that could form as a fog computing based EHAM. Moving forward to the proposed system, the system model of the system proposal is depicted here. The devices, the fog devices, and the actually end devices are shown in the form of mobile phone in the square, and the circle devices that are connected with are the gateway or relay nodes that collect data from those end devices and forward towards the sync device. In between sync and end devices, we introduce fog servers, as mentioned in this system model as N6 and N7 are the fog server CS. And these fog servers are responsible to pre-process the data and provide local alerts and intimations to the user. And side by side, they are forwarding all the collected data to the cloud server. So in the proposed system, the considered network is modeled using a network of queues available at, as mentioned, is global gateway and cloud gateway. So the fog nodes and the cloud nodes, the gateway are modeled as using MM1 queue model of queuing theory. The load balancer at the cloud gateway distributing incoming traffic to the different virtual machines in the cloud. Same time, processing time of cloud gateway and global gateway are identically independent and exponential and randomly distributed variables. We have considered this scenario. Uh, Cloud node is modeled as MM infinity queuing model without any waiting buffer, as it is assumed that actually, if we consider the realistic scenario, cloud is the ultimate point where all the data should reach. So we have considered this MM infinity model. So moving forward to the proposed solution, so the figure has depicted that the sensors which are applied that are forming that WBSN part is actually the they actually segregated all those incoming data into different tasks, and a task arrival from IoT devices at the gateway, a layer is formed to distribute those tasks to the get all gateway queue. So first, all the tasks is put into a pool, we could say, which is known as global queue, and then this global queue is directly connected with the task classification center, which distribute all those tasks into according to their priority levels. So we have here in the proposal we have three kind of priority, which are the first, which are have topmost priority, then intermediate, and the lowest one. And depending on these priority levels, we are then segregating by a proposing algorithm. We are then distributing those priority tasks into the system. So according to their priority, the tasks are divided into three classes, which first one is high priority class, that is SPC, medium priority class, MPC, and low priority classes. So these are two algorithms which we have applied, which we have proposed in this in our paper. So the first algorithm is for Z factor long term offloading. Z factor is the mathematical model which we have used to propose this both the long term offloading and short term offloading algorithms. So long term offloading actually applied between the priority queues and the intranet system, which in the device setup which we formed in the BSN scenario. And short-term scheduling is applied in between the different devices and in between the different.
Sorry to interrupt you, but you have last 1 minute, sir.
Fine, fine, fine. So the results are depicted here. The first figure is showing it network traffic versus number of fog servers. The second one showing mean response time versus request responses, and the last one showing mean response time versus arrival rate. So in every cases, our proposal is actually defining the scenario in comparison of DBC and K factor solutions. So the final conclusions of the paper is the proposed system has three layers: and fog and fog. The incoming task of the global devices into three different layers, and the result shows that introduction of fog layers and utilizing efficient offloading algorithms significantly reduce the response time. So the limitation, if we say that in this paper, we actually primarily focus on the latency part of the system. So we primarily investigate the response time of those tasks to reach ultimate destinations. So I'm done here and open for your questions and suggestions. Thank you. These are the references.
No questions from my side.
Thank you very much. The work is very good.
Sir, your voice is breaking.
You just want
Sir, you are not audible.
to know how did you use the
Hello.
concept
Sir, your
I'm not
voice
able
is
to
not.
hear, sir.
your work in terms
Yeah.
of computing ordinary work. Of the cloud in your work in terms of what you use. Hello. I am audible?
Yes, sir. Now you're
Okay, no
audible.
problem. Go ahead. Thank you. Okay, just I want to
Thank you
know
so much,
how
sir.
you can use
Yes, sir.
how you can use the concept of the cloud in your work in terms of computing or networking or storage. Which part you use in your
Sir,
work?
actually, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Actually, sir, we primarily investigated for 5 to 10 devices. We varied from we start with 5 devices to 10 devices. Actually, we primarily focus on patient-centric environment. So, if we consider that environment, that basically 10 devices are applied on patient, and those sensors are collecting data from patient's body and directly transferring the data to ultimate thing, which is cloud, and where all kind of processing, either machine learning and artificial intelligence, could be applied at that time. So, sir, involving a local system or could be very costly, so that we have to use cloud system. But using fog assisted, involving fog nodes and fog servers in between the system and in between the architecture could help us to reduce the latency part.
So did you also use the artificial intelligence and machine learning in your work, as you said?
So, yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are using, and we have communicated the paper also. Hopefully, the paper will be published soon.
So what part of the machine learning you used in your work? Can you tell something
Sir,
about that?
yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. Actually, we have two segregation that paper. First, we have collected the publicly available data from PhysioNet, and on the same level, we have collected data on using our test beds also with our students and few members also. So we have involved almost 20 to 25 people to collect their physio data for almost 20 days, and the sample size is very good, I guess. I think we have, if we include all those parameters, we have 80,000 of sample size, and the publicly data which is available on PhysioNet is of 250,000. And we use both those scenario involve machine learning and artificial intelligence to primarily investigate the health scenarios, especially considering the cardiac situations in a patient.
So you can use for the machine learning as a classification and prediction.
Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. We have used actually.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.
No questions from my side. Sir has already asked.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your great presentation. Now I would like to invite our next presenter, Chukunosho, and he's presenting on complementing malware epidemic agent-based models with routing protocols of communication networks using NetLogo. I think so he's not here. So we move for our next presenter. Alpesh Shankalia, and he's presenting on energy efficient target recovery algorithm in wireless sensor network. Dear presenter, you may please start your presentation.
Yes, sir. Okay, am I audible, sir?
You are audible. Go ahead.
Thank you. Myself, Alpesh Sakalia. My title is Energy Efficient Target Recovery Algorithm in Wireless Sensor Network. These are the outlines of my presentation. Wireless sensor network are increasingly being used for a collection of data. It is basically used for many applications. Few are that it can be used for the surveillance purpose also, to reduce the terrorist or intruder attack all over the world. Unlike detection of event, tracking requires to ensure a continuous monitoring. So our objective is to make one energy efficient target tracking and recovery algorithm. So initially what we have done is, initially all the sensor nodes are kept in a sleep mode to save the energy, then predict the moving object trajectory in advance using soft computing techniques. During travels, awaiting the nodes when target is likely to traverse their sensing area, and system should be able to track a moving non-cooperative target in spite of limited sensing range. Uh, Recovery of a target, it's get undetected while travels because these all the sensor nodes are in warhead area. So there are chances of few sensor nodes may be uh, 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 their energy may be zero. So at that time, target there is a network hole in a WSN. So at that time, recovery algorithm, energy efficient recovery algorithm is required. So here, these are the randomly deployed sensor node, and the target is shown here. This is the current target position, and these three sensor modes are tracking the target. The nearest sensory modes will sense and localize the target, and based on the target velocity and the direction, and using a prediction algorithm, they predict the next location of the target, and previous active modes predict the next location, and then after activate the nearest modes of the target. And the previous nodes which are activated already, they goes into the sleep again. So these are the three new current tracking modes. This is the overall scenario of wireless sensor network. Different clusters we have created, and these purple dots are current active nodes. These are the future active nodes, and this way we are tracking. In some cases, target may get lost. So at that time, energy efficient recovery algorithm is required. What here we are doing is sensing, localizing the target, tracking algorithm. If it is able to track, then repeat the earlier steps. But if the target is not trackable, then declare it as a lost target and initiate the recovery algorithm. And if target is recovered, then again tracking algorithm start tracking. There are many reasons for target may get lost. Few are the communication failure, node failure. Node failures may be either because of hardware or energy or environmental. Then the network communication hole, as we are deploying the holes randomly. So there are chances of hole creation of holes, location estimation error, then prediction error, random maneuvering. Target speed can change randomly, and faulty node. Hence, target cannot be tracked, and integrity of a mission secured area can be compromised. So here we have implemented 2 prediction algorithm and 5 recovery algorithms. 2 prediction algorithms are Kalman filter and time delay neural network. Basically Kalman filter is accurate in linear trajectory, but in case of non-linear trajectory, there are many chances of target loss, while time delay neural network is more accurate compared to Kalman, and it is accurate in all the linear, non-linear trajectories. So there are TDNN perform better for target tracking with less target loss instances. Target recovery mechanism, we have implemented fixed circle based recovery algorithm and velocity based circle recovery algorithm, fixed contour based recovery algorithm, velocity based contour recovery algorithm, and finally proposed hybrid recovery algorithm. We have tested performance of all above recovery mechanism by combining with Kalman and TDNN prediction algorithm in case of target loss instances. So this is the fixed circle based recovery algorithm. In that, the last location of the target we are activate with radius of R1. We are drawing one circle, and in that circle the nodes are activated. And based on if target is not found, then we are increasing the radius of the circle. But the limitation of the fixed circle based area is unnecessarily activates area that is target vehicle never likely to visit. So this is a contour based recovery. In contour based, it covers less area as compared to circle based recovery. So it activates less number of sensor nodes, and hence energy of network can be saved. Contour shows the possible area in which target is likely to move with a given speed and turning angle. So these are our parameters we have used for a simulation purpose. Sensing areas, we have taken 100 by 100 meters square. Sensing nodes, 600 sensor nodes, and initial energy of each node is 2 joule. Target speed is 0 to 5 meter per second. Sensing range is 10 meters, and communication range we have taken is 20 meters. For energy calculation purpose, during each step, sensing, processing, these are the parameters we have used for energy model. So this is our network static clustering we have used. The numbers CH is a cluster head of each clusters. This is a target trajectory. Blue star is showing a target trajectory. And here is a network hole. This is the result of a fixed circle based approach. Here target lost in this case at this point target is lost and level 1 recovery with a fixed circle, then target is not found at level 2 and level 3. At that time target is found. With this fixed circle approach for target recovery, Kalman based tracking is showing this result. This is our contour fixed approach. Here also contour, here you can see that less sensor nodes are activated compared to earlier method. This is a velocity based circle, and here also many very large area is activated, sensor nodes are activated. Here tracking algorithm is Kalman filter. This is a velocity based contour method. This is our proposed hybrid approach. Here in this case, what we are doing, that initial first three step, we are running a contour velocity based approach.
Sorry to interrupt you, but you have last 1 minute.
So this is one proposed hybrid based approach. Here what we are doing, initial first three levels contour velocity based approach is run, and if target is not found in that nearby region, then we are sending a nearby cluster head message that target is checked, the target is in that area, and broadcast message is sent, and each cluster head check in that cluster, and if the target is found, they send the previous cluster head that target is found, and from that point target is continue tracking by the prediction algorithm. So these are the result of Kalman based tracking. Here circle fix consume 287 joule, while proposed energy consume 41 joule energy, which is very less compared to all other methods. TDNN based tracking, in these also it is very less compared to Kalman also and earlier recovery methods also. See, these are the video. Due to limitation, I am not running. So here energy comparison with different recovery methods. As we can clearly see that circle velocity consume more energy, and proposed our hybrid network, hybrid recovery algorithm consumes very less energy. So this is our final conclusion. The target loss instances are very less in the TDNN based approach, which is found frequent in Kalman filter. The TDNN approach saves network energy. Different methods for loss target recovery has been analyzed. From the energy analysis, we can conclude that proposed algorithm provides energy efficient solution for a loss target recovery as compared to other methods. So utilization of TDNN with proposed hybrid is the best solution for a wireless sensor network target tracking and recovery purpose. These are the few references. Thank you.
So thank you very much. You had did the wonderful work.
Thank you, sir.
Is there any question? Yes.
Is there any future work do you propose?
Yes, ma'am. Proposed hybrid work, proposed hybrid recovery, I have proposed. Earlier method is a fixed circle method. Many earlier literature has used the recovery for a fixed circle, but that activates many area and many circle, many sensor nodes are activated in that case. But in our case, very few sensor nodes are activated in case of recovery and very less energy consumption in case of proposed hybrid approach.
Okay, is there any limitation of your proposed system too?
Yet we have not found actually, ma'am, because it is useful in every cases. Velocity is constant or velocity might be changing randomly. Then at that case, or in that case also, our algorithm works better.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Thank you for your great presentation. Okay, now I would like to invite our next presenter, Harpal Patel, and he's presenting on IDS and IPS testing using signature and heuristic scanning.
Yes, Harsh. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. The title of my presentation is IDS and IPS testing using signature and heuristic scanning. I am the author of this paper, Harpal Patel. Jayakumar Kalliyappan and Selvi M are my co-authors. So this is the overview of my presentation. And there are total 8 sections that I'm going to cover. Let's start with the introduction. So it's basically about the virus. So the virus refers to a piece of malware which has been put into your computer with the intent to cause harm and data exfiltration. Data exfiltration means stealing the data from the computer and using it to blackmail or or cause any harm to the system. Virus causes device degradation by self-replicating, finding privileges, and using an accessible memory. A network or a device has to be protected, which demands for an antivirus application to detect the malware code. An antivirus application uses a variety of algorithms and scanning techniques. So an antivirus is a software that is used to prevent to stop the virus and prevent the system from causing harms. The general antivirus program looks for and gets rid of different types of viruses, Trojan horse, computer worms, and other threats. Antivirus software is typically used by people as protection. So let's move to a literature overview. So in this, in my first research paper, I have summarized it as an antivirus software tool can be analyzed on various different aspects. Castberry is best antivirus tool in terms of performance. Norton is best tools in terms of features. Castberry is reviewed finest for help and support. So these are it is basically the comparison of two tools in this paper. The second paper concludes that the prior knowledge of features of good antivirus software is very necessary as it reduces the software testing burden. It is very important to choose a perfect antivirus software for testing because every antivirus software uses different algorithms and that are used for different types of viruses. So that's why it is very important to choose an antivirus software that is used for scanning a particular type of virus that we are going to test. The third paper says a machine learning based approach is proposed that has paved the way of the evolution of deep learning and multimodal based approaches. But there is one disadvantage which says that the costs are very high. So like in paper 3, 4, and 5, that are all based on machine learning approaches. But the main thing that I have found is that all these machine learning based algorithms are costly and they are taking more time for running the program. The sixth paper says the infection proliferation in the internet has brought about a huge misfortune and security breaks. Different types of ad hoc networks, geographic subordinates is discussed. The difficulty in its analysis is proposed. The technique has very limited scope. As it says, the technique has very limited scope. I would like to describe it very specifically. The spreading element of most infections are network geographic subordinates, making the examinations a difficult issue. So, as it is based on spreading based on geographical subordinates. That's why there is difficulty in detection. In this continuing the literature survey, in 7th paper, the computer virus is a program that is specifically designed to replicate itself without a PC owner's consent that do not varies actions on any system it resides on. So in this paper, various elaborated methodologies on simple infections are observed in PC. However, it does not apply on advanced virus infections. So as it said, this paper discusses the basic virus infections and do not apply for advanced virus infections. So as such, I have reviewed all these papers and found the summary of these papers. I would like to focus on some of the important conclusions that I have extracted from my literature survey. So these are the problems that I have found. The first is devices are frequently attacked by malicious virus that makes them perform slowly, damage system components, steal personal information, or establish unauthorized communications. These are the main problems that are caused by the viruses. The second problem is, even while virus producers have long struggled against such antivirus software, sometimes they manage to find new methods to get past its security. As I said, the new virus, some of the existing systems do not work on the new found virus. That's why there is a need of making a new antivirus algorithms or scanning methods to detect the viruses. The third is, if a virus reveals private customers' information or sends unsolicited emails to client in an attempt to spread the malware further, the company's image might be at risk. So this is one of the disadvantage of the virus that is mentioned here. The next is, the majority of current detection techniques rely on a single class of scanning algorithms. However, they are unable to detect all type of viruses. This is one of the important problem that I have found, that all the antivirus softwares are using a particular algorithm for scanning a virus, which is not which is based on detecting a particular type of virus, but they are not able to detect the different types of viruses. So these are all the problems that I have found. And in my research work, I have found one paper which is showing a hybrid system proposed of the SVM and decision tree. So it is the paper where I get the idea of creating a hybrid system of two algorithms and making my antivirus software more stronger for detecting the infected files. So my system, so my solution to all these problems is combining a scanning methods in a single antivirus program, so that it is more effective in scanning wide range of viruses. The first is signature-based virus detection. It is accomplished by comparing observed events of predefined signatures. So signature scan is it works on finding the signatures of particular virus. And the second method is heuristic scanning. So in heuristic scanning, it will look for a change in a file size and compare the original and modified file. So based on that two scanning methods, we will find which file is infected and which file is uninfected. So the virus program is proposed to highlight all the crucial features of the antivirus application. These are the three main research objectives. First is to understand the real world problem of intrusion detection system and their functioning. And it is to build a virus that replicates itself in all the .py files present
Sorry
in
to interrupt you, but we have last 1 minute.
Yes, sir.
You have last 1 minute.
Okay. The second is to build a system to scan for a presence of virus in any file using various methods. And third is to build an antivirus program that can be used to stop the intrusion caused by replicating virus. So here I have used a replicating virus for testing my system. So first, it is the flowchart that will show you that will explain the process. First is the replication virus intrusion, and then it will go for a signature scan, then heuristic scan, and all the scanned files will be displayed, like all the infected files will be displayed on the screen. Then there is an option called quarantine. Using that option, we can move all the infected files to the quarantine, and those infected files will be checked by the antivirus backend. And like if the virus can be removed, then the files can be recovered and the system stops. And if it cannot be recovered, then the file will be deleted from the quarantine folder. So this is the methodology. Now I'll go to the proposed model. So in this, there are three main sections that I'm going to discuss. First is virus intrusion. So virus intrusions means here I'm taking an example of a replicating virus. So replicating virus is basically a virus that replicates itself when the file is executed, and it copies its code in all the .py files present in the directory. So after virus intrusion, the infected files will remain there in the directory, and when the file is opened, it again copies itself into another uninfected files and infect all those files. So first is virus intrusion, and the second is virus scanning. So in virus scanning, I have applied two scanning algorithms. First is signature scan and second is heuristic scan. The signature scan is a form of a scan that looks through a whole file for a specific line character called the signature. Line by line, it will read and look for a signature. It compares the signature with previously found signatures. Thus, it is effective for known virus threats. So signature scanning I have used is for all the known virus threats. And the next is heuristic scan. So what is heuristic scan? It is the heuristic scan will check for a metadata changes in a file. Metadata is a change in the file size, a file name, or anything. So when a virus will replicate itself, the file will get modified, which will result in a change in the size of a file. All operating systems stores the metadata of older and newer versions of the file. So after heuristic scan, the result will show if the file size is changed, then it will show the original, and then it will detect that change and show that the file size has been modified and the replicating virus has executed itself into that file. The next is intrusion prevention system, which is section 3, and it is a quarantine section, in which quarantine is a new method used nowadays by antivirus software. It is basically a rule.
Please conclude your presentation as we are running out of time.
When a file is found dangerous to the system, it will be stored in the file. So now I'll move to the results and discussion. This is the screen of my antivirus software that I have created. There are 4 options: signature scan, heuristic scans, quarantine, and close. In a signature scan, it will print if the file has no virus in green color, and if the virus is found, then it will print in red color. Similarly, in heuristic scan, if the file has no virus, then it is printed unchanged, and if it has virus, then it will print the current values and the original values of the file with the name and the timestamp. And in quarantine folder, we have options called remove current, remove all, restore current, restore all, and add file. So using all these options, we can remove and add and restore all the infected files. So this is the antivirus software and this is how it is gonna work. So on concluding my work, I would like to say both the virus and antivirus program have been proved to be working efficiently. The purpose of combining two scanning methods for higher security has been fulfilled. The self-replicating feature of the virus has been showcased. All the necessary functionalities of the antivirus program has been implemented. And the important thing is providing a simple GUI makes user to interact easily and use this software very easily is applicable. And researching survey papers gave the insight of the creation of antivirus as well as detection of viruses and how these are some of the most dangerous threats concerning cyber world in a day-to-day lives for many people around the world. So these are the references. I have referred the papers and thank you so much.
Yes, thank you very much. There is no question from my side, any.
Yeah, Antesh, can you come to your conclusion slide?
Oh, okay.
Not the thank you slide, conclusion.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Which platform have you used for building this model of yours?
I have used a Python language.
Okay. And what are your future work that you are planning to incorporate in this?
Ma'am, for now, my program is able to detect the files that have a .py extension, but
Okay.
I will be working on including more types of file extensions so that it will cover all the file types and detect different types of files.
So your file is able to basically monitor the contents within the file also, if they are malicious?
Yes, within the file, because it will be reading line by line and finding the signature, and if the signature is found, then it will show that the file is infected.
Okay. And how will you update your file? What will be the period of updating your file? Antivirus program that you are building.
Ma'am, I did not get the question, ma'am.
Because you'll be looking for the virus signatures, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
And new viruses keep on coming. So you have to update your file also, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am. When the file is found infected, it will print the file is infected. So after the file is infected, it will be added to a quarantine section. And in quarantine section, we will look for how we can remove the virus. And if the virus can be removed, then the file can be restored. And if it is not, then file will be deleted from the quarantine. So that it will be acting like a intrusion prevention.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much.
For your presentation. Now I would like to invite our next presenter, Ashish Kumar, and he's presenting on statistical investigation of smoking patterns and smoking cessation enthusiasm in rural areas of Jaipur.
I think this is the last presentation.
Yes, ma'am, this was last.
Yeah, please stick to the time. We have overdone with the time.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay. Myself, Dr. Ashish Kumar from Manipal University, Jaipur. And today I am going to present on a very journal topic, statistical investigation of smoking pattern and smoking cessation enthusiasm in rural areas of Jaipur. Actually, this study is very helpful for the policy makers to formulate the policies to remove the smoking and two smoking habits among the rural areas of Rajasthan. So these are the table of contents: introduction, literature review, method and materials, data analysis and discussion, conclusion and references. Actually, tobacco word is broadly used for the product that is made from dry leaves of tobacco plant, as well as it is used to represent a wide family of plants which contains nicotine, and it contains extremely addictive stimulations, namely harmala and nicotine alkaloids. In the beginning of the 18th century, tobacco is generally used with a assumption that it opened all the pores and passages of the human body, and it is used in terms of the bidi, cigarette, hookah, chewing gum, and snuff. It is considered as the smokeless and smoke with smoke, both kind of the smoking conditions. So in 19th century, when the automation starts and cigarette manufacturing industry, automation is also introduced, the production is progressively increasing, and it is still going on until the health exposures of the last 20th decades of the 20th century identified. And India stands on the second position in tobacco production with 8 million quintals worldwide. And worldwide, 0.24% agricultural land is used only for the production of the tobacco. And in India, states like Andhra, Karnataka, these states contribute extensively in the tobacco production. And there are approximately 1 lakh for farmers are the registered farmer for the tobacco production. And tobacco industry approximately contributing 11,79,498 crore rupees in Indian economy and give the employment for the 4.57 crore people. Tobacco products namely classified into two categories. One is smokeless and second one is smoked. When we discuss about the smoked products, smoking category, then we generally discuss about cigarette, cigar, hookah, water pipes. And in non-smoking category, we generally use gutka, lugs, leaf, snuff-fall. And smoking have adverse health effect on men as well as women. So it is observed that smoking increases the chance of developing heart disease, lung cancer, tuberculosis, and the infection chances are more in smoker in comparison to non-smokers. Second hand smoking also affect the human lungs and expose the lung cancer. Concerning to NSA, it is revealed that smoking reduces the oxygen level in blood, and due to which heart started work harder, and it gives rise to blood clotting that ultimately cause a stroke. These are some researchers who conducted various studies on the smoking pattern, smoking cessations, and smoking enthusiasm, smoking quitting enthusiasm, and throughout the world or along within Indian context also. Material and method. The present study has been carried out on a cross-sectional data, and their data is collected through a self-explanatory questionnaire. The data is collected from the Gadota Panchayat, Tehsil Mozamabad in the district Jaipur, Rajasthan during January 2022, and in this area there are 3,854 families are residing into 6 villages having similar kind of socio-economic status, and most of the families are based in the related with the agricultural and they are associated with the farming. Secondary school in the schooling in this countryside area of Gadota Panchayat is provided by the public and non-public schools, and the learning rate in this area is less than the average. informal consent from all the respondents are obtained before providing them the questionnaire and collection of the data. And prior to this survey, the investigator is also explained about the study, and a number of people were required to provide verbal consent to designate intended contribution. And the study is conducted at 5% level of significance, and the sample size is 430, for which at the initial stage, two-stage sampling is used here, and then in the second stage, simple random sampling we used to collect the information. In the first stage, we use the stratified, and originally the number of populations for all 6 villages was placed from the panchayat headquarters. Survey tool and data collection. Considering social intellectual hypothesis and health beliefs models, a self-directed inquiry from comparison of closed, open-ended, and multiple answer problems was developed. In our questionnaire, all the kind of questions are there. Open-ended are there, closed are there, multiple answer questions are also there. Type of smoking, region of quitting, and 7 knowledge questions were also added from the selected literature and available research. The questionnaire was written in English, but some examples were translated from English to Hindi and then English by expert, then to English by expert interpreters. And the invigilator explained all the questions to the respondents to understand their meaning.
Sorry to interrupt you, but you have last 1 minute, sir.
Okay. It was also assessed by an investigation team, regional health workers who had originally interviewed villagers to see if the Hindi items are suitable for them. For this purpose, initially we enter the data in MS Excel, and then we transfer to MS Office SPSS 24th version, and we analyze, and by using the first we perform the statistical and descriptive statistical analysis, and then we perform according to we formulate the hypothesis, and the hypothesis testing is made according to the nature of the variables by using the T-independent, T-dependent, and the chi-square test and ANOVA. All those statistical tests are made, and by using the tabulated value and calculated value, as well as at the same time by using comparing the level of significance and the p-value, we made the decision making. Only few results are included here in the tabular form, and we observe that 80% male populations in this area are addicted to the smoking, and the younger generation is involved in both kind of smoking habits, smokeless as well as smoked. And it's in our study, approximately 45% respondents are undergraduate and 29% respondents are unemployed. It is also observed that 53% respondents try to quit smoking during last 12 months. And the p-value associated with chi-square test to examine the relationship between age and gender is also significantly less, and means there is relationship between age and gender with the smoking, and age and gender have also statistical significance. The p-value associated with chi-square test to test the interrelationship between gender and willingness to quit smoking at one time point during last 12 months is significantly greater. So, and next, gender and willingness to quit smoking at one time are statistically significant. The p-value associated with the chi-square test to test the relationship between gender and who wants to quit smoking for financial reason is very less. And so gender and who want to quit smoking for financial reason are statistically significant. The p-value associated with chi-square to the test the relationship between gender and who even considered the danger of tobacco is very less. So we make the testing at different questions on different parameters, and we find that gender and adults exposed to tobacco smoke in public are not statistically significant. Male and female smoking habits and intention to quit smoking are differ. Male were more likely than female to smoke every day, and male smoked an average of more cigarettes one day than female. These are the references. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Ashish. Work is very good. And there is no question from my side.
Okay, sir.
Ma'am, any question for presenter?
No, no question from my side.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so all presentation has been completed, and I sincerely thank our authors for their excellent presentation and great contribution in this session. And I hope this session was informative enough. And all the participants for being a part of this international conference, thank you very much for your support. And we, on behalf of whole team, thank you for your support during this version and the previous 6th version of this conference. And we will be happy to have you all in the 8th version of this conference in 2023. Moreover, all the participants will be getting their digital certificates within 2 working days. And further, all the papers have been already forwarded to the speaker. And the publication will be live within 5 to 6 months. So kindly cooperate with team ICTCS 2022. Now, I also like to thank our session chair for chairing the session.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you from my side too.
Ma'am, there is a token of appreciation on behalf of to the chair on behalf of ICTCS 2022.
Thank you.
And sir, this one is also for you, sir, to chair the session.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now, in the end, I would like to request you all to turn on your camera to collect some good glimpse of this virtual conference. Thank you. Thank you very much to all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, and thank you, sir, once again.
Thank you very much. All the best to all the participants.
Thank you all.
Yeah.